Hey, if you've ever felt lost all alone, if you've ever felt like a stranger in a strange land, this is for you. In fact, all week we're going to talk about what it's like to be exiles as believers in Jesus. First Peter, it says, Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, the very first verse, to those who are elect exiles of the dispersion in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Again, how do we live when it seems like everything's against us? And again, of course, not everything is against us as believers. We have it pretty good in America, but I sense that things are changing and they might keep going in that direction where the government and even the culture around us may not be super friendly. They might actually be antagonistic or aggressive against the church. And how are we supposed to respond? Do we give up? Do we go, oh man, this is too difficult? Or do we kind of press in and say, who are we really? In this passage, it says that we are elect exiles, right? We're of the dispersion. And that was a phrase that they used to talk about Jewish people who were living outside of Palestine. So if you go back to the Old Testament, you have an example of the people who they were exiles in a place called Babylon. And that was terrible. I mean, they were among people that didn't care about their faith, that certainly didn't share it. There were no high fives or attaboys. It was just toleration at best. They were being subjected. They were oppressed. They were not home. And for us, we got to remember that's who we are. That's what the point Peter's trying to make. You're not home. You're not home. Even if you're still living where you were born and you're in your 40s or 50s and you've never left, quote unquote, home, you're but a stranger here, as the hymn says. Heaven is our home. And we have been elected by God. We are the elect. That's what this one little short verse is trying to tell us. That God chose us. That's who we are, and that's who we got to be. Right? That's how we respond to hostility. That's how we respond to all of the disappointments, the obstacles in our way. We go, you know what? We've been loved by God. We've been cared for by God. Jesus died for us. He rose for us. We just celebrated Easter not too long ago, and He is still alive, and we still are His people. No matter what happens, no matter what comes against us, God has called us and named us, and we are His. And so let's keep going with this. Let's encourage each other. Let's pray. I got a great song for you today. It's by one of my favorite bands, Need to Breathe. It's called The Outsiders. And, just hopefully it encourage you. I think it's a great song. And again, listen to the lyrics about, like we're free to do what God has called us to do. All right, so let's do that. And we'll talk to you next time for another follow-through.